EDC enthusiasts, fellow genetic modified Vikings. I'm Diener. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to look at a couple of knives in anticipation of this video, because the knives are actually in a box that was sitting here to my left during the last video when I did review the Pyrite and the Echo. And it was sitting over here, and it was from White Mountain Knives, which, if you haven't used White Mountain Knives, I recommend you do it. And I don't get any kickback. There's no agreement. I don't have a discount code of any sort. It's just a retailer that I use pretty often, probably a little bit too often. And great company, great selection. They have good pricing. You can use discount codes, even on drops where it's a high demand knife. Kevin over at Duty's Daggers has a discount code. I think it's Duty 3 or Duty 10. You can check with Kevin on that. But nonetheless, great company. But I knew what manufacturer these knives were. I was just incorrect in which one, which knife is coming. I still have another one coming. It should be here today. At any rate, I pulled out a few of my favorite knives from this same manufacturer as part of the video. So I've got that kind of part of the plan for this video. But one of the things I'm going to do different for my videos is if I do an unboxing, I do initial review and impressions, and if there's any information or if I notice something on the mechanics or the design or the construction that's noteworthy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide that new information in the next video, regardless of what next video that might be. So it'll be kind of a leapfrog effect. So in this case, I've got a couple of things that I've noticed on the Pyrite and the Echo that's noteworthy. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so if you guys like this format, let me know in the comments. If you don't like it, let me know that as well. But I think it'll eliminate some redundancy in that I won't dedicate a video to an unboxing and initial impressions and review, and then another video to that same knife. So it'll mix it up a little bit, add a little more variety to any given video so that new information is provided in the next video of a prior knife. So that'll be kind of the approach. So that being said, going to switch to the top down, and we're going to cover the just some stuff that I noticed on the Pyrite and the Echo. Here they are. This is the Echo. This is the Pyrite. These are great knives, by the way, dollar for dollar. You really can't beat them. I mean, you really can't beat them. Excuse me just for a second. I'm going to grab a sip of coffee. And so here they are, stainless steel construction. They're good ergonomics. I mentioned about the pocket clips, that they are identical. I thought one was a little thicker than the other because the spring tension is a little bit different, but I don't think so. After looking at it, I didn't pull them off and put the gauge on them to determine that, but I think they are the same thickness. But one of the things that I did notice is with the Pyrite, if you notice the stop pin, here's the stop pin located towards the front of the frame, and then there is the plunge on the button lock. And you notice that when it opens up, right, the tang of the blade right here hits the stop pin, and then the lock engages. It springs in, the plunge drops into a part of the blade, as you can see there, that's already milled out right there for the plunge on that button lock. Then on the Echo, notice where the stop pin is. The stop pin would be right about here on the Pyrite, and then it's moved back here. And the reason for that is because this is a front flipper. So you've got all this additional real estate on the blade. What would normally stop here, you've got all this additional real estate because it is a front flipper. So the stop pin would have to move from here, and they move it back here. But what's kind of interesting, if you notice the distance from the center of the stop pin to the center of the button lock, the distance is greater on the Pyrite than it is on, or rather, the distance is greater on the Echo than it is on the Pyrite. I thought that was kind of interesting. And you've got essentially 3 points of contact. You got the pivot, you've got the stop pin, and then you have the plunge on the button lock. And so that's what gives you the stability when the knife is in open position. So now there's 3 points of contact. The pivot, which is consistent, the button is a variable, and then the stop pin is also the variable. So between those 3 points of contact, you have the stability of the knife, the up and down and the left and right. So it was just something that I noticed. And then also what I thought was kind of odd is, why would they do the billboarding differently on the Echo, plastering it across here, instead of doing the same thing that they did here as on the Pyrite, right here near the front of the bolster part of the knife. I think, billboarding, keep it minimal, and they didn't. There's should have been, well, I mean, I can kind of see here, and it might be that it just wasn't enough room in there, but as you can see, this is pretty small billboarding. So they could have put that in there, but they chose not to, and I guess that's okay. So at any rate, that was what I had noticed on these 2 knives. Great knives. One's got the lanyard hole, the other one does not. I'm not sure why they would put the lanyard hole in the Pyrite and then not in the Echo. There's still plenty of real estate there, it seems. Oh no, there is. Look at there. There's your lanyard. They put a pin in there so that you can put a lanyard there. Now, I don't know that I would do that. And run the risk of, unless you loop it in from through the center and then through the top, I guess that would work. But at any rate, I guess if you're going to put a lanyard hole in, I would prefer it like this. One, it adds to the stability of the knife versus just digging a hole or drilling a hole through the handle like that one. So this is actually a pretty good setup. It adds more stability to the knife, and you still have that lanyard hole if you want it. The other thing that I noticed on the Pyrite 2, or rather the Echo, is that and I'm going to compare it with the Pyrite first. When the knife is closed, the stop pin is not engaged anywhere. The stop pin is completely free of contact with the blade. That the blade is stopped by the plunge on the button lock. Nothing else is touching that blade. However, as you can see right there, and I'll turn that so you can see, yeah, see there? It's not touching anywhere in there. So, but on the Pyrite, that stop pin is actually touching the tang of the blade right here. So that can be a problem if the stop pin touches too close to the edge of the blade, because then once you sharpen it, you sharpen away some of the blade, and then now it's riding, the edge of the blade here is riding underneath where the stop pin touches. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be too much of a problem. It looks like where it touches, as you can see, it's hard to see, but where it touches is about right here. So there is a decent amount of sharpening that can take place on this blade prior to that edge then becoming a problem with that stop pin in the closed position. So yeah, it was just something that I noticed. I thought it was noteworthy. Anyway, so that's that. Let's get into the unboxing. What we have is Twosuns. Now, Twosuns, dollar for dollar, can't beat them. You absolutely can't beat them. These knives here, I think I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $70, $80, maybe $90 at the most, but they're pretty phenomenal. And these are the ones I got. I got the TS223. We're going to open that one up first. This is a beastie knife. Here it is here. It is titanium frame lock, and it is a frame lock. It is not a bolster lock. It's just the frame has been milled out to accommodate for the carbon fiber scales. I don't understand why they call it a bolster lock. These are these are single pieces of metal that's milled out. If you have a frame that then, like say for example on a liner lock, and then you add a separate piece of metal that's a bolster that then becomes part of the locking mechanism, then you could get away with calling it a bolster lock, but this is not. I've only seen one bolster lock, but not real crazy about these fuller grooves in the handle. I think they could have did a little bit better there, but nonetheless, titanium pocket clip, same milling here as it is on the bolster part of the blade. Lots of screws. It's a flipper. Let's flip that sucker open. Big knife. Wow. Let me grab this and just kind of wipe it off a little bit. Full grind, full flat grind. I'll tell you what, that thing's going to cut. Oh yeah, that's going to be a cutter. M390. This is a Jelly Jerry design. This again is the 223, Twosun 223. Good looking knife, big guy, fills the hand. The pocket clip moves around a little bit when you go to grip it. Like if I do this and I give it a little bit of strength from the palm of my hand, gripping it, as you can see, it kind of shifts it just a little bit, but not bad. You got to really bear down to get that thing to move. So it's fairly stable. It's just that I noticed it shift just a little bit. So that's it there. Nice looking knife. It's a big one. So we're going to put him down right there. You know what? I just want to see the... See where that detent right there. So that's about normal. That's a 25 degree, maybe 30 degree where it starts. We get past that detent. So that's very similar with a lot of other knives. So that's that one. Next, we're going to look at this guy here, which is the TS264. Here it is, TS264. It's got that pseudo integral frame. This is a frame lock again. It's been milled out to accommodate for the carbon fiber scales. Flipper, or thumb stud only on this one. This is a Mazwan Mokhtar design. He makes some really good designs. Let's give this sucker a flip. There we go. Oh, that's another full flat grind. This is a little bit different. This one here, you can see the grind lines. This one here, which I love the grind lines. Excuse me. This one here is a stone wash. That is nice. This is M390 again. And like I mentioned, it's a Mazwan Mokhtar design. Now, Mazwan Mokhtar, for whatever reason, he loves to use these pocket clips where it has the ball. Now, that's a permanent ball. It doesn't roll. It doesn't penetrate through the top, or is it? It's not sandwiched between the pocket clip and the scale of the knife. However, these are really kind of irritating because there's real small point of contact. So the PSI on that point is pretty dramatic in that it will shred your pockets. And this here is thick. This is a thick pocket clip. Look at the gauge. In fact, I'm just going to put these side by side. Look at the difference in that. Now, you take that gauge of metal, this thick, and you shorten it up, and you got one stiff pocket clip. This one here, you can pull away fairly easy. This one here, forget about it. I mean, holy jeez, this is a ridiculous design. It could have been a little bit longer, a little bit thinner gauge material, would have been a whole lot better. But it's a smaller knife. It fills the hand. It's a perfect size, perfect EDC size. Good action. Nice looking knife. Very nice. Real tall blade for both of those. This one, you know, here's an example of the sharpening choil. The sharpening choil, the plunge ends just about, actually it's past, it's past the edge termination right here. And there's a little bit of a flaw there. You can see it right there. Yeah, there's not much left here to sharpen it, and you're going to start seeing a smile. That's a bad design right there. Yeah, that's a bad design. I don't know why that plunge grind is like that. It should have ended, you want it to end further back from the edge termination. But anyway, it is what it is on that. So that is the 264, I believe, is what I said. Yeah, the 264. So this is the TS264. This is the TS223. So that's those. So now I'm going to drag in some other Twosuns. Now these guys are some of my favorites. The ones that I'm going to be bringing in. This is the TS300. It is a flicker only. Flicker, rather. Reverse flicker. It's a beautiful knife. Compound grind. Very pointy. Very stabby. Very sleek. Kind of futuristic looking. Great looking knife. This is a Mazwan Mokhtar design. There's his logo right there. MMD. This pocket clip. See, it's got the same circular round part of the pocket clip there. Again, it adds a lot of pressure in just to a single point. These are pocket shredders, but it's a good looking clip. Matches the design of the knife. Great knife. Love that knife. Love it, love it. Now, next is the Twosun TS191. Look at this beauty. This is an incredible looking knife. The fit in the finish is absolutely insane. Look at the tolerances here. I mean, they are tight. This is sheer Gorov damn near tolerances. Now, this has got that pseudo integral frame as well, and it's a little micro bit off right there. There's that exception there, but look at the fit and finish on the pivot and how the blade sets in to that frame. Incredible. Now, same thing. Look at the pocket clip, right? He's got that same round design there. This is luckily it's fairly thin stock, so it's flexible enough. But that would kind of create a problem. It's shorter on the pocket. He needs to change his designs on that. Instead of going with a round or a spherical type tip on those, do more of a paddle where that point is then spread out to the width of the pocket clip versus a single point. Doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't even notice it if that was more of a paddle style pocket clip as opposed to that spherical type tip. But anyway, that's a beautiful knife. Compound grind. S90V, I believe this is. Yeah, this is S90V. Yes, this is the TS191. Big knife. I mean, it's big. Fills the hand and then a ton of real estate left over. It's a big boy. So that is the TS191. Next is going to be my favorite, all-time favorite, Twosun knife. And that is this one right here. It's a front flipper. This is the TS186 Kingfisher. This is a absolutely sexy knife. I ask you, what knife can you think of that is more sexy than that? That is just an incredible looking knife. Mazwan Mokhtar design again. This is M390. The only thing I don't like about the pocket clip on this one is the fact that it's too small. Now notice he'd used the paddle design in that the point of contact is across the full width of the paddle versus a single point with using the spherical aspect of the pocket clip. It is thicker stock, so it's stiff. Forget about it. That's going to be a real bear to get in and out of the pocket. However, I don't use this knife. This is not a user. This is a knife that I just have in the collection. It's aesthetics. It's just one really wicked looking knife. Again, this is my favorite. The one I've been looking for, eventually I'll pick it up, is the one with the Timascus scales. Absolutely beautiful. It's got blues and greens and purples. It's just an incredible looking knife. So anyway, there you go. You have the TS 223 and the TS 264. That's these two guys. And then you have my personal favorite, which is the 186 Kingfisher, the TS 300, and the TS 191. I'm going to pull them in so you can kind of fill the screen there. Get rid of these boxes, get them out of the way. Yeah. Nice looking set of knives. Really nice. All right. So anyway, that's the video. If you guys like this kind of a format where I cover something about a prior one, let me know. I think it works. It's good information. It adds a little variety to the video. And so then on the next video, if there's something that's noteworthy with respect to the mechanics or the design or the manufacturing or whatever it might be that I notice between now and my next video, then I'll cover it regarding these. So there's the leapfrog effect. So that's it. If any of this was of value to you, if you appreciate the video in any way, do me a favor, like and subscribe, and then share the video. Send it out. Share it with somebody. You know, the whole thing is with running a channel, one, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it's always nice to see it grow. So if you can help me make it grow, I'd appreciate it. So in the meantime, follow me on Instagram. I'll be getting some stuff up on my Instagram page here shortly. And between now and the next video, this is Diener. I'm signing out. Later, guys.